The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Katie Noland. I'm the speaker coordinator for the Used Car Week conferences, and I'm also heading up our venture into this online community piece that we have added to the events this year. Thank you for joining us for our brief training session to kind of walk you through some of the features of these communities. Before we get started, just a few housekeeping items for the webinar. Please make sure you've dialed in using the phone number provided in the email that you received, or that you're able to listen via your PC speakers. We've got you in listen-only mode, but if you have questions, and I encourage you to ask questions if you do have them, you can use the questions box on the control panel. Just type them out, and I will keep an eye on that box and try to answer any questions that you may have. If you have any technical problems during the webinar, you can click on the hand icon, and we'll try to help get you sorted out there. And we're going to be recording, or we are recording, today's webinar, and so we'll share that with everyone after the fact, so that if you want to share it with any colleagues or you just want to walk through the process again, you'll have that available. So I want to get started by talking a little bit about what this online community is and what the goals are for our community, which is sponsored by IAA this year. We're hoping to increase attendee participation. We're creating a community around the conference and a directory of attendees, speakers, sponsors, exhibitors. We're giving all of our sponsors and exhibitors an interactive profile page that they can edit and make changes to, and use that to interact with our attendees. We have an interactive floor map for our expo hall, as well as for all of our conference space, to help our attendees navigate through those areas, and hopefully increase our speaker engagement as well as attendee engagement in the various sessions even before the conference begins. So this community, I'm going to walk you through what is the web-based community. So you can just sit at your desk, at your PC, and navigate through the community. There's also a mobile web version, so that you can visit this website on a mobile device and be able to navigate through it. We are also in the process of building a native app, so that everyone can go to the App Store, download the app for Used Car Week, and navigate through the 4 different communities, one for each of the 4 events during Used Car Week. So I want to start out by talking about how conference attendees can engage with or interact with this conference community. Everyone counts as an attendee, whether you're a sponsor attendee, a speaker attendee, or just a participant as an attendee. Everyone gets their own personal profile that they can update, including a photo, a bio. You can share your role and your interest in the community. You can add links to your social media pages, and it will also show what other conferences within Used Car Week you are attending. So I'm going to walk through the process of setting up your attendee profile page. And so what you would have received, or the place you would start as an attendee, is you will get or have gotten an email from us that explains a little bit about the community, and it provides a link to join the community. And so you would just click here. Okay, great. Sorry about that, a little bit of technical difficulty. It will take you to your profile page to be able to customize it. And it's very straightforward. You want to add a password so that you don't have to use your custom link each time. You'll just go to our website where it will be hosted. It's not right now, but it will be. And or you can go to the Passable direct link, and you'll be able to log in using your email address and your password. you can click here to upload a picture. I'll upload my my headshot, so just to walk you through it. You can add a phone number. We'd like for you to add your cell phone number if you feel comfortable doing that, so that we can communicate with you via text message. We'll also have push notifications that will be coming from the mobile app if that's something that you install on your phone. Like this says here, your phone number will not be displayed publicly. Your email address is not displayed publicly. None of your contact information is displayed for anyone except for the conference organizers. So all of the communication within the community is done within the community and not via email or phone number or anything like that. The About Me is a place to include your bio or just any information that you would like other attendees to know about you. There are a few checkboxes here which are pretty self-explanatory how you want for us to communicate with you. So you can fill all this out and you can click Continue, and then it'll show that my, at least in theory, that my headshot got uploaded. Oh, maybe because I don't have a password. Sorry, guys. All right, so that is saving that portion of my profile. And it takes me to the details page. Now, these are questions that we have added. Some of them are just for our own personal demographics, interest, and they will not be displayed. The ones that won't be displayed are clearly marked. The ones that are displayed, role and interest in the auto industry. These are just some suggestions. You're welcome to create your own. Anything that may apply to you, you can just type, and it'll add a tag to your profile. And that allows other attendees to be able to find you. And if I'm searching for lenders that I want to connect with at the conference, if you've tagged yourself as lender, then I can find you more easily when I'm searching through the attendee list. So feel free to add as many of those as you feel are relevant to you. We have years in the auto industry, which, like I said, is not displayed. Age range, reasons for attending. These are more tags that you can add to your profile. Just another way for people to find you and connect with you through the community. How did you hear about the conference? Just another set of tags. Links, you can add any links that you feel like are relevant to you. You can add your social media profiles. You can add links to your company website. You can add links to videos or really anything that you feel like would be good to have on your profile page. So I'll just add so you can see where it goes. I'll add usedcarweek.biz. And once you add the link, it kind of goes up here, and then you can keep adding links. Click Continue, and that actually kicks me out of my profile page because I'm essentially done. If I want to go back to the other two tabs on there, there's a whole list of permissions. So if you want to control how we communicate with you, how other attendees communicate with you, you can look through those elements and decide how you would like to be communicated with. Assistance at the bottom, if you don't want to manage your profile yourself and you have someone else you would like to be able to log in as you and edit your calendar and basically access everything as though they were you, you can add their name in the assistance field here. Password is just a place to edit your password there. So if we go back out to the home page, one of the pieces here that's interesting is that you can click Find Who You Know, and that takes you to a page where you can connect your profile on our conference community with your Facebook profile, your LinkedIn profile, and your Twitter account, and it will find anybody who's registered for the conference, who you are connected with on any of those social media sites. So that's a way to just find people that you know that you may want to connect with on site at the conference. And it will give you a list of folks, and it'll look kind of like this. These are my recommended contacts. Once you've created your profile, probably the next step is to look here at the full schedule. These are all of our sessions. You can see the speakers, sponsors, titles, times, etc. You can view them like this. You can look. The next day is here. Thursday and Friday are on separate pages. And if you see this tab here, My Schedule, if you are looking at the full schedule, you see this little button here, Add. If you want to go to breakfast on Friday morning, you can click Add, and it will add it to your personal schedule. It's not showing up because it's before 9 a.m. here, but you can add anything you'd like and create your own schedule. And once you've done that, then you can export your schedule, which means you can print either your schedule or the full schedule. You can download a static version of what you have decided is your schedule, or download the full event schedule. And you can also subscribe to your schedule or the full event schedule in Outlook. And that means if you make changes or we make changes to the full event, those changes would show up in your Outlook calendar. So those are just some options for you there. And while I'm still on the attendee piece, one of the really most interactive pieces of these communities is that you can interact with anybody who is a registered attendee. So if I see Eric here and I want to send him a message, I just click Send a Message and type it out as though it's just an email. He'll receive an alert in his email that says he has a message, but I don't see his email address and he doesn't see my email address. So it's just sort of a private way to communicate with people without sharing all of your details. I can add other people to this email if I also wanted to send the same email to Mary Lou here. She would show up and I can just add her to the email or to the message. You can also view someone's profile. You can request a meeting with them, and just to kind of walk through that piece, that shows that I'm trying to set up a meeting with Eric. Eric has something on his calendar for 9 a.m., so that shows up in red. The pieces on my calendar show up in blue, and the software itself picks the earliest available time as a suggestion where we're both available, and we can set up that meeting. I can send him a note that says where I would like to meet, booth number 100, or the Starbucks in the lobby, or in front of the expo hall, or wherever I want to meet him, and then I send him a message as to why I want to meet him and send an invitation. He'll receive an email that says he has a meeting invite, and hopefully we can confirm a time to meet while we're on site. Let me look at my notes. So there are also, so you can send individual messages to individual attendees, but you can also start discussions. And there are a few discussions that are started here. We haven't actually launched or gone live with our full attendee list yet, so the only people on here so far are speakers, sponsors, and exhibitors. So the discussions are a little bit slow at this point, but anyone can start a discussion and anyone can reply to the discussion. So hopefully we can start some conversations around topics of interest, around sessions themselves, which I'll get into a little bit later when we talk about speakers. But those discussions are then emailed to everyone with an account. They'll receive sort of a daily summary of what's gone on in the community, and hopefully that will help draw people back into the community to engage yet again, have another conversation, reply one more time to the discussion that they have been a part of. So just to kind of move along, that's sort of our conference attendee piece. Everyone's an attendee, so everyone needs to know that. But moving on to the sponsors and exhibitors. Sponsors and exhibitors get what we have been referring to as a virtual expo booth. They have the opportunity to have a profile much like an individual attendee, but they can say, they can describe their company. You can add links. You can brand that piece of the website for your company. And you can also engage with conference attendees as a company. If you have an expo booth, your profile page will be linked to our virtual our virtual expo hall map, and that will show attendees where in the expo hall your expo booth is located. It's not a huge expo hall, but it'll give them an idea of where they need to go to find you when they're on site. So just to kind of walk through the process of setting up those sorts of profiles, I'm going to customize a used car week page. And so if you are a sponsor or an exhibitor, you can manage your page. If I have set you up as an editor, I've tried to grab the right contacts from each sponsor and exhibitor to make you editors of the page. If you need to be an editor of your organization page and you are not currently able to do that, just shoot me an email. You can contact me through the conference community if you want to, or you can reach me at KKNOWLAND@autoremarketing.com, and I'll make sure to get you set up as an editor so that everybody who needs to can manage their organizations. So this is sort of the shell of the Used Car Week profile. And if I click Manage Organization, it takes me to a page that's fairly similar to that profile page for an individual. I can choose a logo to upload. I think I have the Used Car Week logo ready to go here. PNG works best for these, but you can also use JPEG. I can add a description of what we do, and I can add details. This is where I can add links. You can add tags, much like you can add tags for your individual profile. If you want to add a tag to your sponsor or exhibitor page that says that you're a lender or an OEM or a technology provider or whatever you are, you can just type those in and add them. Links go here. Same deal as with an individual profile. You can add social media links. You can add video links. One of the cool things I think about video links is that if you add a link to a video on YouTube, it will actually show the preview of the video right on your profile page, so that, and I think IAA did that, and we had sort of a screenshot. So this is IAA's profile page here. They have a bunch of links, and then they have one of those links, excuse me, is to a video, and so it shows sort of a preview of the video. You can click play without ever leaving the IAA page there. So you can add whatever links you'd like. You can add documents. So if you would like to add a PDF and you want to call it community overview, because I think that's the document I have, I can describe what it's all about, and then I can add the attachment, and these can be pretty much anything. If you have a PowerPoint presentation that you want to add, if you have a PDF or a Word document, anything that you want to add, you can add there. And it will show up on your profile page as a document that then registered attendees will be able to download. You can add staff members to your organization. These are people who also have to have their own profiles within the community, meaning they have to be registered for the conference. But if I want to add Mary Lou, who's my guinea pig today apparently, I can add her, and then I can decide if I want to make her an editor. I can upgrade her to editor so that she can make changes to our company page here. And you can add as many folks as you want, and those individuals who are listed as staff will show up on your community or on your sponsor or exhibitor page. At the bottom, their profiles will be linked there, so people can contact individuals from your organization through your profile page. One thing that we have done for all sponsors and exhibitors this year is upgrade them to a premium package that includes lead tracking. So obviously no one has visited my Used Car Week page yet since I just created it, but when they do, you'll be able to see the name, how many times they visited, organization, any messages that they've left for you. And these are just people who've clicked on your profile page to view it. They don't actually have to send you a message at all. Then these are inquiries. This will be a list of anybody who's actually, and I'll show you in just a second, anybody who has actually requested information through that page. So anybody who clicks this request information button sends you a message. They have the option of sharing their actual email address and phone number with you. They can submit that, and if they do, excuse me, then they will show up in that leads list. And what you'll see is this view leads button, and that takes you directly to that inquiries page and that visits page. Someone asked a question whether you'll be completing profiles for both attendees and sponsors. And yes, so Jill, you would have, if you're an attendee, you would create your attendee piece, and then you would also have the Liquid Motors profile page separately for that, for your sponsorship piece. One of the best things about these communities is if you are a sponsor or an attendee over more than one conference, let's say you're CPO and NRC, you only have to create one profile. So your sponsor profile will carry over through the various conferences and your attendee profile. So you only have to update it once. So that is fairly convenient, I think. All right, let me look at my list and make sure I haven't forgotten anything. Oh, one of the other pieces about the upgrade, and I can't really show you because we're not on the native app, obviously, but you are able to, sponsors and exhibitors will be able to use the app to scan QR codes of individual attendees. So the app creates a QR code for each attendee. Sponsors and exhibitors can scan those QR codes and collect leads that way. So whether it's just on-site as a sponsor or an exhibitor, you can just you can encourage people. You can have a raffle or a giveaway if people come to your booth on-site and allow you to scan their QR code. They can be entered to win. It's just an opportunity for both you to collect leads and for you to encourage more people to come to your expo booth on-site. So that's something that we can walk through once we have the the mobile app. I will show you while I'm talking about mobile, not to skip around too much, but we do, like I said, there are, that's sort of the desktop version that I showed there. This is the mobile version, so you can go to nrc2015.pathable.com on your mobile device, and this is more what you'll see. It's optimized for a mobile device. It shows which meetings I've added to my calendar, my agenda, shows all the same basic information here, and I can display my personal QR code so that I can check in at an exhibitor's booth. So there's my QR code. So that's just a little side note there about some of the mobile options. So moving on, I want to talk a little bit about speakers. Speakers will have an individual profile exactly like the attendee profile that I talked about before, but they will be tied to the individual session in which they're speaking, and they will be able to see who's attending their session to a certain extent. Anyone who has added that session to their schedule, to the My Schedule piece, will show up as attending that session. And so here's just an example of what a session looks like. Oh, I can't. So our speaker, Jason McCarter here, he shows up as a speaker. His profile is linked, so that anyone who's interested in this session can send him a message if they have questions about the session. Jason, actually, let me show you, because I added myself to a panel that I think is on Thursday. Let me. Here. There I am as a speaker on this session. So I show up as a speaker. Anyone who has added this session to their personal schedule shows up as an attendee. And one of the things I can do is I can add a document. So if I want to, as the speaker, if I want to add my presentation, I can do that. If I want to add a handout, I can do that. Any sort of information that I want to provide to people prior to the conference, I can do that. I can also create a message that goes to, it shows up within this page, but it goes directly to anybody who's attending that session, and it just sort of you can start a discussion that's relevant to that particular session. So if one of the speakers wanted to get feedback as to what people were interested in having discussed, if they wanted to start a conversation that then maybe they could reference in their presentation, they could do that. Any sort of interaction there is going to be positive and get people excited about the session and what they're going to hear about. Anyone can actually share session information. We hope speakers will share it, can share it on various social media platforms to kind of get the word out a little bit about your session. And as you see here, you can click and go to our interactive map so that it helps attendees find the conference space. And I don't think I really dwelled on the expo hall, but here's our expo hall map that shows where exhibitors will be within the expo hall. So that's that. I think that pretty much, I'm just sort of looking at my notes to make sure I didn't skip anything as I ran through all of these elements. But one date that I do want everyone to keep in mind, especially sponsors and exhibitors, like I said, this website is not broadly available. We just have sponsors, exhibitors, and speakers who've been invited right now. But we will be launching this live with our full attendee list. Everyone who's signed up for the conference will receive an invite starting September 9th, which is next Wednesday, so a week from tomorrow. So that's a good deadline if you want to make changes, updates, add things to your sponsor and exhibitor profile. Having that set up and ready to go by September 9th is a good date to keep in mind. And then these will, when we do that, these websites will be linked from the actual conference websites, so people will be able to easily access them and get involved in the conversations. So we hope sponsors, exhibitors, speakers will feel free to start discussions, engage with attendees, communicate with attendees, and obviously let me know if you have any questions, if I went over things too quickly, if you run into any snags. As I'm saying that, one of the elements, if you run into technical difficulties, not just that you don't know how to do something, but it's just not working right, you can click the support button at the bottom, and that will actually, it'll both give you access to the knowledge base if you need sort of a little walkthrough on how to do something, or you can contact support directly. They're very good at getting back to people. A lot of times when I've asked them questions, it's been within 15 minutes. They guarantee within 24 hours that they will reply. And then if you have a question that you submit through that support button that they can't answer, that's more of a conference planning kind of question, they'll forward that to me and I'll get back to you. So that's a good resource for questions. Let me just double check and make sure we don't have any additional questions before we go. All right, I think we're good. So that was a really quick run through. We are, like I said, I'm going to send out a link to the recording of this webinar, as well as some PDF handouts that'll kind of walk you through some of the basics as well, so that you can share those with other people or just refresh your own memory. And if you have any questions for me, feel free to contact me, Katie Noland. And my email address again is kknowland@autoremarketing.com. Thank you all for taking the time to participate today, and I look forward to seeing you at the conferences. Have a good day.